Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Breakdown. Andy Newberry here with Jonathan Hull. The 4-1 Dallas Cowboys having fewer breakdowns every week.
Yeah, it seems like each week, Dak Prescott gets a little bit more impressive.
And this time the defense too.
Yeah, the defense really took a stand. And I think Cincinnati's offensive line had something to do that. That offensive line's not in good shape. It has not been performing well, and it made the Cowboys' defensive line look like they had some all-pros up there. Now, I think it helped getting Tank Lawrence back, too. DeMarcus Lawrence came back off of his suspension, and he looked good. I mean, he was getting to the quarterback. I don't think he registered a sack, but he had a lot of pressures. And, Dalton was never really comfortable back there.
No, and they made him scramble around. They made him run. He ran for some first downs, but that's better than him hitting big plays as the play is broken down. A lot of times he'll lob that ball 40 yards downfield, and they would hit those big plays. And I thought going in that was the most legitimate test they had all year.
Yeah.
And I think they took that seriously too. They act like nothing from the outside ever seeps in, but I thought there was more focus from the start than there'd been even in previous weeks.
Yeah, I agree. And I've said a couple times on this video that I really like Dallas' secondary. I think it's a bit of an underrated secondary. It's been much maligned in the past, and yeah, sure, it's not perfect. Morris Claiborne's playing above his head better than we've seen him.
Especially, you don't see secondaries hold up without a consistent pass rush,
Exactly.
and they haven't
That's
had
the part
that end of it.
Yeah.
Where some of the other ones, the secondaries or corners that will be having good years, they've got a good pass rush on the other end. And I think the Cowboys have held up in coverage. They're going to have a penalty here and there, and you're going to get beat on some plays.
Yeah, I mean Claiborne saved 2 touchdowns. I mean he had 2 pass breakups and saved 2 touchdowns. And then, Byron Jones had another one where he came over the top and knocked the ball away from, A.J. Green when it looked like he was going to have a touchdown. So, yeah, Cowboys defense looks great, and the offense is just as efficient as ever. And it's a replica of what they were doing in 2014. The quarterback's different, but the style remains the same. And, the running back's different too. But if anything, he's more explosive than what they had in 2014.
Yeah.
Marco Murray was.
But he still makes those subtle cuts for those power 3-yard runs. Sometimes when you have to have 3 yards.
Yeah. That first week, that was the kind of the criticism he got was he wasn't getting up.
Well, he talked about that. Elliott talked about that people probably have short memories and they think that he was awesome from the first time he stepped on the field at Ohio State. He acted like it took 2, 3, 4 games for him to get a feel of it, and then he took off, getting 150 to 200-yard games. So I think you're seeing the same thing. He's a better back than he was a month ago.
In hindsight on that too, the Giants' run defense has not been very bad. I mean, they've had they had a decent run for a while of stopping teams. It's pretty impressive when you look back at how efficient that Cowboys offense has been. How well the Giants played them in that opener.
Yeah, in the Giants game, that was the one they lost. That was the one they still needed to be better in the red zone, and but it's also in Dak's first game.
It was.
He sort of missed a couple of those, and they sort of didn't hold on to a couple of balls they should have.
But now they showed the read option in the red zone this past week, and I thought that was a great move for them. I think Dallas kind of sits right now, and they're tied for the division lead, but I think they're the best team in the NFC East right now.
And the East is not the worst division. It gets bagged on a lot. I think you see like the AFC South probably can't measure up, and a couple of those other divisions. So I don't think Washington's a terrible team. Philly has that win over Pittsburgh that stands out. I don't know if they're that good every week. Probably not. But Cowboys this week have a good test. They go to Lambeau Field. It seems like they go there every time now. In the 90s, it was always the other way around. They always went to Texas Stadium.
Yeah.
Green Bay has a good run defense. That's not what they're known for. They're known for their passing game. But
Cincinnati's supposed to have a good run defense too. It didn't matter, and Dallas went through them like hot knife through butter.
I don't think they can change the game plan. I think they have to run.
I think Dallas could win. I think this is the one where they do get the hiccup though, and Green Bay takes it.
In a close one, you think it's pretty?
Yeah,
close?
I think it'll be close.
So, because this will be another test for that secondary, because Aaron Rodgers, he creates a little extra time and hits some throws. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that's one of the best games on the schedule.
Yeah, I think it is the best
and the NFL probably with their ratings decline, they're happy to have the Cowboys back in the conversation.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll come back next week, see how they did at Green Bay.